Today's going to be one of those odd videos, and I really want to just kind of go into why. I have a personal separation of games. I have games that I share with all of you, and these are games that I've played before that I think that people will like, and things that have fit things I've done before. And that's where you get your regalia, that's where you get your Citizens of Space, that's where you get your Final Fantasy 8, that's where you get a lot. And then I have games that are just for me. These are the games that I play when I want to relax, when the stresses of life and creating videos just don't mix, and so I just want to play a game. Thea 2 is one of those games. I don't really share it much. I don't know if you'll find it interesting. I'm not really that good at it, but it's a game that I enjoy. And so I want to take you through just one of the games that I enjoy for me and just kind of open up a little bit. So Thea is a roguelike strategy 4X game where you don't start out with really a goal of building a city immediately. It's kind of a later goal. Thea, the first one you did, and it took a long time to shake the strategy of I have to build a city as soon as possible. So just to give you a kind of short summary of this game, the world ended, and then it was fixed, and then it kind of ended again, and now it's going to get fixed again, and there are deities who help you. The deities of Thea 1 and Thea 2 are different, and there's storyline behind that. And as you go through, you'll start with just 2 of these unlocked. You'll see that I have these last 2 locked. These are story quest unlockable. But you'll be able to unlock more deities as the game goes on. Each deity will have a unique power, such as Zoria does War Cry. Every time an enemy character comes into the battlefield, the delay of your character standing on the battlefield is reduced. In other words, the number of characters you play will directly influence the speed in which your characters will act. You'll then have 2 specific domains, and you'll see 1 domain, and 4 domains. These are the number of abilities you can assign. So once you have a deity unlocked and are ready to start assigning, you will be able to add cards. For instance, this domain, I can add currently either Smarter Every Day, which gives me a flat experience gain, a Scoundrel and a Rat character, which costs 1 card point, and you'll see that, or a trait point, and you'll see that any character costs a trait point, and I can eventually unlock for God points and for those deity points the young Harlik. And one of the things I like is this game is not European, or I say European, it is very Eastern European oriented from what I understand. But it's not the traditional fantasy that Tolkien, that C.S. Lewis, that other famous authors have traditionalized in the West. The Witcher came in, and it had a very unique fantasy base, and so does this. But it still has elves and dwarves. And those haven't gone anywhere, there's just additional information. I can have this elf character, and it's an elf child, take up 3 points. I can do a gather here for 1, or a little dog. So when you're building this, it's kind of important to evaluate what you want to get out of this particular run. Now, you'll earn points, and every 100 points you get in the game will create a new point here that you have to spend. And you can increase the difficulty or decrease the difficulty based on this. So if I were to click on on easy, then a good number of things would change. And I think I'm going to do easy for this, just to get the longest run possible. But I'll only get 96% of my points. If I were to do difficult, I would get double the points, and then it would go on. Some things that can change are weather effects. Some things that can change are how many trait points you get to spend. Really, it's fully customizable, and I suspect difficult is nowhere near the most difficult. Just like in Thea 1, which I did do a few varieties on there. This one is certainly more changeable. And so, I think with that set to easy, we will go ahead and start. I really like Dzievanna, and I think I'm going to start with her because the hunter-dog combination that I can get on there is a very nice beginner combination. There are better combinations out there, but it certainly feels great. She starts with animal senses. Animals, elves, and forest demons you control have a +1 to each main attribute. Crafting attribute is decreased by 10%, but gathering attribute is increased by 10%. And I do feel early on in the game that the gathering portion is a stronger skill than crafting. Later on in the game, it's quite the opposite, and you can get trash items and masterwork items in there. And so with that, I think we're going to choose this. Now, you have a unique path and a unique story, and that's partly based on how you craft the game yourself, but it's partly how you start the game. So I'm going to have choices to make that will be influenced by nature or harmony. First though, let's go ahead and read her effects. I walk in the watchful shadow of the old Mother Earth, who lies silent. I listen to her whispers and sing her songs. Mistress of the forests, spirit of nature, lady of the earth, those are the names mortals call me. But do not be fooled by the beauty of my domain, by the desire to uphold life and treasure, balance above all. Nature is not your comely mother. Cross my path in defiance of the eternal laws, and you will learn the fury of the forests, for I am also the huntress, silent and vigilant, true to my cause and unwavering in my resolve. Defile my domain at your own peril, and taste the whisper of the forest at your shoulder before death comes for you. Walk with me amongst the trees if you dare. So, before I get any further, I do want to just tell you that this game, if you're interested in it, you can just pick it up on Steam. It is made by Muha Games, published by Muha Games, and the developer lists both Muha and Eerie Forest Studio. Right now, there is a demo available, so feel free to try it. The Thea 2 Shattering is a decent game and comes with an expansion if you choose to get that. I think the expansion's free, actually. And then if you want DLC, last game they did coffee for devs, I believe. This game they do pizza for devs. And that whole strategy is they give you free content, free expansions, free everything, and then if you choose to support them, then you can add that DLC to the cart. So the next step before we officially begin our game is to set this up. Now I mentioned the hunter-dog combination that I really like. A hunter is an extremely valuable character to have in the game. They can take care of beasts that you encounter in the game with very little risk to your party. And then they function mostly off of the perception bonus. Well, here we have a little dog that you get, and this is just a pet companion that you can equip to a character, and it increases their perception, which, lo and behold, the hunter truly benefits from it. Now, with that, we do get a bonus to any animals. I could have done the giant spider. I could have also done the elf child and made some things easier if I can get the child to grow up. And in this, what I think I will do is make sure that we have a warrior. I talked about gathering being important, and we only have room for one more point at this difficulty level. So I'm going to add children. Now, children will grow up and get their own class. You'll have an opportunity to develop the child, and when the child grows up, you'll be able to select from a number of classes with or based on how that child is developed. That means we have one trait slot for a bonus. Now, bonuses don't cost anything, and we've already gotten the bonus little dog. We could do seasoned followers, where that grants experience, and we can do advanced equipment, which is not bad, especially if we get items that go on our hunter. If we overpower a hunter early on, we really gain an advantage when dealing with the world. So, gathering tools is another great thing, but we have a bonus to gathering, and we have a gatherer. Not too worried about that. Hidden gems, the crow pet's nice, but we have our little dog instead. Food can be a really hard thing, especially since this game is procedurally generated, and if you'd run out of food, you die. It's very much survival in that base. You have to gather food, or you die. Based on everything, though, I'm gonna go ahead and go with advanced equipment. So we are about ready to start. This is kind of an episode 0 primer of the game. I'm gonna break this up, so while I play the game to completion, which will end in my horrible, horrible death. Sorry, voice cracked there for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, I know. It's because I'm sick. Yeah. So while I play this game to completion, you will be able to have multiple episodes. See if you like it. See if you want to get that demo. And see if you want to enjoy playing this game. This game does have multiplayer. I don't like multiplayer games on a turn-based strategy. Mostly because I don't have people to try it with. And when I do try it with them, it gets bogged down. The only exception to that really has been in the past is the Heroes of Might and Magic game. So at this point, I'm just rambling. We're going to go ahead and click next, and when you come back, you'll be at episode 1, short and proper. I don't know if I'll release this all at once, so if I don't, and you want to keep seeing more, make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell notification. I'm NdoNosCi, as always. Have fun. Here we are at episode 1. We get to choose our class. Now, this, I can choose male or female. This is actually important, especially if you go with an orc child. Orc children have a chance to grow up into a matriarch, and only females can become that. I don't know if there are any other gender-specific classes, but this is your only chance to pick a gender for starting characters to have them become your chosen. The chosen is basically the one that the deity that you've selected speaks through. You are the avatar of that chosen, and they are attempting to fix the world through you. So I'm going to choose our hunter, since that's going to be our main. I love the artwork of this female hunter, so I'm going to choose that. And I'm going to have her name be Ixanadin. So, just to go over the other choices I could have made. I often choose this for the bunny. I love the bunny. Especially the evil bunny that kills everything that we can encounter later on as a random quest. And on the quest, the results are often random too. There are a few ones that are completely set. I know how to do them. But there are ones where the end result seems to change based on a number of things. For instance, there's a guy with a crazy bunny. Sometimes that crazy bunny will be a goat. Sometimes it will be the Monty Python type crazy bunny. But again, we're going to go with Ixanadin. Oh, and there's that bunny. She took his bunny away. We're going to go with Ixanadin and her wolf. We are going hunter with the good dog. So we start the game. And this is just reminding you her. Walk with me amongst the trees if you dare. This is her symbol, and I'll show you where we'll interact with that later.